APS acknowledges that a second customer died last year after their power was turned off.
The revelation comes during what has been a difficult week for the company. On Sunday night, an APS employee was killed. Initial reports suggest an electrical fire was to blame. Joe Dana is here with the latest.
Customer's death comes from a letter submitted this morning from APS Vice President Barbara Lockwood. It's to the Corporation Commission. Now, the commission had asked APS about whether they knew of other health emergencies or deaths of customers. APS states that in June of last year, a customer's power was cut off because she didn't pay her bills. Her body was discovered in July. APS writes in the letter, quote, "A representative brought a claim against APS. APS disagreed with the allegations of causation. The claim was resolved in a settlement between the parties." Now, as 12 News has reported, last summer, APS carried out an unusually high amount of shutoffs to power customers. It was the first full year of the new rate hikes. Those higher rates have been a point of controversy. Activists say they were higher than advertised. The Corporation Commission has expressed concern, but still siding with APS over its rates. Then in September, customer Stephanie Pullman died after her electricity was shut off. Pullman was $51 short. She had cobbled together funds from her family in the months leading up to her death to pay her power bills. Her family blames APS for not being willing to work with her before her death. APS and all utilities regulated by the commission are now under this moratorium to not shut off any power of customers until October 15th. APS says they're also conducting a review of their practices and procedures. Back to you.
All right, Joe, thank you.